The sound of guitar strings echoed through the dimly lit garage, the same place where everything had started. It was more than a room, it was their sanctuary, where dreams, songs, and love once collided. But tonight, that sound wasn't about love. It was about closure. He tightened the strap on his guitar, eyes locked on the strings. Every note felt heavier now, because the person who used to stand in the front row, cheering louder than anyone, was gone. Gone because she traded loyalty for lust. Gone because she walked away from something real, for someone who turned out to be a monster. And as fate would have it, she was about to hear exactly how little power she had left. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who swore they loved you, if you've ever felt powerless after being thrown away like you never mattered, then hit that like button, subscribe, and listen close. Because this isn't just a breakup story, this is the story of how one man turned heartbreak into the sweetest revenge imaginable. Ethan had been dating Lily for over 2 years. They weren't just lovers, they were partners in music, in dreams, in everything. She'd show up at every gig, sitting cross-legged near the front, eyes glowing like he was her whole world. She'd talk about how, someday, they'd make it big together, her on merch, him on stage, her brother on drums. But then, everything shattered. One night, her messages grew cold. Her smile disappeared. Calls went unanswered. Then, out of nowhere, she ended it. No fight, no closure, no explanation, just a text that read, "I need something different. You're too focused on your music." Ethan tried to reach her, desperate to understand what different meant, but what he discovered left him sick to his stomach. Lily hadn't just left him for someone else, she left him for a man twice her age. And worse, a man who would soon be exposed as a pedophile. The betrayal wasn't just painful, it was humiliating. How do you compete with someone like that? You don't. You just sit there, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., asking yourself what went wrong, over and over again. Weeks passed, but peace never came. Every song Ethan wrote sounded like a cry for help. Every gig reminded him of her empty spot in the crowd. Lily had managed to infect everything, even the music. He talked to her brother, Jason, during rehearsals. Jason was torn, stuck between family and friendship. But deep down, he knew his sister had made her bed. Then one night, after rehearsal, Jason muttered, "She's been asking about you again." Ethan froze. "Why?" Jason shrugged. "I think she's realizing what kind of guy she left you for. Things aren't good." It didn't matter. Ethan didn't want pity. But something inside him stirred, not anger, not sadness, clarity. She had chosen to throw everything away. So he decided, she'd never get to be part of his music again. From that night on, Jason and Ethan made a silent agreement. Lily was banned from every show forever. Fast forward a month. Ethan logged into his console to unwind, maybe distract himself with a new season of Fortnite. As fate would have it, Jason invited him to a party lobby. Ethan joined, headset on, lights dimmed, and there it was. That voice. "Hey, Ethan?" Her voice cracked through the mic like a ghost from the past. He didn't say a word. Not one syllable. Lily kept talking, trying to sound casual. "So, how've you been? Still doing the band thing?" Ethan's fingers tightened around his controller. The silence was deafening. He could feel her anxiety rising, the way her words stumbled when no one answered back. Jason tried to keep things neutral, pretending nothing was wrong. But everyone in that party knew the tension was suffocating. Still, Ethan stayed quiet. And that silence was louder than any insult he could have said. Then came the call that changed everything. Ethan's phone buzzed. It was Chloe, his new girlfriend. Her voice was warm, confident, the complete opposite of the chaos he'd left behind. "Hey, babe. I was wondering, can I come to your show next week?" Ethan smiled, glancing at his mic light, still on. Lily could hear everything. Of course you can, babe, he said, voice steady and calm. You're always welcome at my shows. I'd love to see you there. It's going to be amazing. He could feel the energy shift in the room. Jason stopped talking. Lily went silent. Every word Ethan spoke was a reminder that she no longer had access to his world, no longer had control, or presence, or privilege. When he hung up, there was a brief pause. Then, click. He was kicked from the party. For a second, Ethan just sat there. Then he burst out laughing. The kind of laugh that comes from pure release, from knowing that for once you won. The next few days, word spread fast. Apparently, Lily was furious. Jason told Ethan she'd thrown a tantrum, demanding to be allowed back at their shows. But it was too late. Ethan had already reclaimed everything she thought she owned: the music, the friends, the confidence, the spotlight. Now, when they performed, the crowd cheered louder than ever. Chloe was front row, smiling up at him, the stage lights reflecting in her eyes, the same way Lily's once had. Except this time, Ethan wasn't performing for someone who might walk away. He was performing for himself. For the man who survived being broken. For the man who turned silence into strength. And as the final chord echoed into the night, he smiled, because he knew somewhere out there, his ex was seething, watching him live the life she threw away. That was his revenge. Not cruelty. Not words. Just success and indifference. Time passed. Ethan never reached out again. He didn't need to. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about payback, it's about peace. About walking past the wreckage without turning around. He learned that losing someone can be a blessing when it reveals who they really are. And sometimes, karma doesn't come in fire and fury, it comes through calm, quiet triumph. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Speech balloon: what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or experienced? And don't forget to subscribe, because every week, we dive into true stories that prove one thing. Karma might take her time, but when she arrives, she never misses.